Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another video review, and this time I'll be taking a look at the third and final of the Predacon trio. We're going to be taking a look at Slapper. Now, Slapper, unlike his companions, Gas Skunk and Darkstream, Slapper was actually originally a Predacon in the Transmetal 2 mold that he came from. This originally was the Transmetal 2 Spidor figure, which, just like as this one, transforms into a techno-organic toad. And as you can see, as the toad, the proportions are kind of a little, like the front legs are really hard to mess with, but just due to the transformation, it kind of makes sense a little bit. But trying to get all of them, all four legs, where they're not clashing into each other on display here is a little bit of a headache. And yeah, so he is in his toad form. Articulation wise, everything's on ball joints, just like the other two basic figures. We have ball joint in the what is kind of the shoulder, I guess, as well as the elbow and wrist. And then my favorite aspect of his articulation is the back legs, because they do extend. So you can have him jumping through the air with his springy feet. So there's that. Now, I did promise that I was going to do this in his video review, so we'll go ahead and take a look at him sitting next to all three of his Predacon buddies in beast mode. So we'll bring in Gas Skunk, and we'll bring in Darkstream. So yeah, all three of them pretty much about the same size. There we do get all three of them looking really nice together. Now, alongside with the Autobot car, we'll go ahead and take a look at X-Brawn here and see him side by side. And just about as what I said before, when it comes to the amount of space they take up, they're about the same size in beast mode as a car brother is in vehicle mode, but just due to overall engineering and robot mode size and just overall heft of the figure, I would really feel cheated out if I bought this at $10 in 2001. So now he does have a couple action features in this mode that he can use. He does have this blue piece on his back. It can actually come out. It's articulated on a hinge right here and a ball joint right here, and it can come out and form like some kind of attack claw. Go ahead and just stuff that away. But the main attraction here is that we do get this item, which is a tongue mace. So what we would do with this is, it's very hard to see, but inside his mouth there is a peg hole, and then there's a peg on the end of the tongue mace right here that just pegs into there. And then we get the action of him launching his tongue out. So that's kind of cool. I do like that. And before I forget, I do want to point out about the same size he is compared to a deluxe vehicle of modern day. Here he is with Siege Ironhide. Not much that really to speak of there. And then Siege Optimus in robot mode, just to show that off. We'll take a look at that later and when we get to robot mode. So now for transformation, we're going to go ahead and start by removing the tongue mace here. And then we're going to go ahead and take this back section here and we're going to rotate it up. And it's actually on a double hinge system here, so we're going to rotate it up and kind of get it looking like that right now. And then rotate the toad head up. We're going to take this section here and fold that down, and that will be the waist of the robot. And then go ahead and fold that up along the back. And then straighten the legs out and rotate everything so it's oriented forward. And then take the arms and do the same. And now this part here, after both of these are lifted up, going to go ahead and take this piece here that the head is attached to and fold that forward. And then lift it up. And then take this entire assembly and swing it around. And then fold it back, fold the head assembly back down. And then rotate the head forward. And then put the shoulder down and the toad head down. And there we have Slapper in his robot mode. And go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt here. Oop. There we are. Really nice head sculpt, really menacing head sculpt. Definitely brings out the fact that this is originally a Predacon mold. And I do like that a lot. It does have this really nice gritted teeth design, some very bright blue eyes against a red plastic head. And we do have a little bit of a green paint bulb here on his head. We also do get some more detail showing for his waist and his torso. We have some silver detail there and some purple painted on right there. One thing I did also want to point out is the asymmetric design, especially on the toad here. Carries over on the eyes, especially because this one's more technological, and then this one is definitely more organic in design. So that's about it for any new design features. Nothing really much showing aside from that we didn't see in beast mode. Now for articulation, this one's a little bit of a fun one. He does have pretty much standard articulation, but the big one here is his head. It's on a ball joint, but the way the ball joint is cut, it's coming straight out of the body to give him this hunchback design. So he can kind of rotate his head side to side, and he can tilt it, and then he can look down. And that's about it for his head articulation. Everything else is ball joints with full range of movement, as well as an additional hinge here in his hand, which doesn't really do much for articulation. Then we do have a waist rotation here, and then ball joint, and ball joint. And the tongue mace can actually fit in either of his hands. He does have two peg holes here, one in each hand. So he can go ahead and hold it, and kind of gets that look to it. It's a little bit not so much fun, but he does have some integrated storage. There is a peg hole right here on his back, which you can go ahead and peg the tongue mace on there, and it just kind of rests there on his back, so that way it's just out of the way. And now for size comparison, we'll go ahead and compare him next to X-Brawn again, this time both of them being in robot mode. And as you can see, X-Brawn is quite a bit taller than Slapper, especially with Slapper's hunchback design. It does make him come off shorter than his other two companions. And then bring in a modern day figure. We're going to go ahead and bring in Siege Prowl. And now Siege Prowl's about the size of a deluxe car brother from 2001, so it's about on point. And then Siege Optimus Prime. And also, I do want to point out before I go further, his other feature is he does have the Predacon Spark Crystal hidden underneath the Toad Mouth here, which would be his other signature attack, would be the right laser. So all three of the Predacons do have their Spark Crystals being used as a primary attack. So now that I've shown off all the other size comparisons, we could go ahead and bring all three Predacons out now. And Gas Skunk, if he's going to stand. There we go. And then also go ahead and bring Megatron and put him in the background. So as you can see, all three Predacons do stand pretty much the same size. In fact, actually, with Slapper's hunched back, he does end up being the same head height as Darkscream and Gas Skunk, so that's a pretty nice bonus there. So yeah, that's about it that I have for Slapper. Not, again, on his own, not too much to speak of, but putting him up next with his companions, he does really shine. I do honestly think that Slapper is my favorite of the three. And I still stand by what I say. I wouldn't go searching out for these guys individually, definitely. Unless you're looking for the Japanese variants, that way you would have to get them individually because they were sold individually like that. But I say if you can, if you're looking for the Hasbro versions, if you're not, if you're trying to look for only one or two of them to complete the collection, if you already have one or two of them, then go ahead and pick up the last one you need. But definitely try to buy all three of them together bundled. I feel like in the long run, definitely would be more bang for your buck. Each of the three aren't really stunners on their own, but kind of combined together and sold together as a 3-pack does definitely get some great value out of it. So that's about it. All I have to say for the Predacons. Yeah, so definitely if you want to, I wouldn't search out any one of these individually unless you're trying to look for one to finish a collection, but other than that, definitely go pick up all three of them at once. They're fun little figures. There's not a lot to them, so they're fun little like desk toys to mess with. They're not really super complex, and they just look nice. So yeah, definitely go ahead and pick up any one or all three of the Predacons if you can find them combined together. And I'll quit rambling here now then. And this has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.